You got into the safety business because you wanted to protect people, but somewhere along the way, the job started controlling your time, your schedule, your priorities, even your income potential. What if the expertise you've built over the years in the field can give you something more? More freedom, more control, more ownership of your future. I'm Sheldon Primus, the author of 7 Steps to Starting a Profitable Safety Consulting Business and the host of the Safety Consultant Podcast, with more than 350 episodes helping safety professionals become consultants and grow their career. Consulting changed my life. In fact, I'm a full-time RVer, and one consulting contract paid for my home I live in today. Now, I help safety professionals build their own consulting practice through bi-weekly coaching calls, accountability, and personal guidance. But this program isn't for everyone. Start with the Consultant Readiness Audit at sheldon.coach.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all 3 books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Midnight on your lips, I can taste the doubt. You say you're in control, but you're fading out. Velvet in my voice, let it pull you in. You don't have to fight, you can just give in. There's a rhythm in the dark, you don't question now. Feel it in your chest when I slow it down. Every little thought starts to drift away. You don't need to think, just do what I say. Ooh, close your eyes, stay right here, let it wash, disappear. You don't need to understand.
Following program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, it doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, yes. I think we know this. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. We are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios on this lovely Tuesday, March the 24th. of 2026. And that's, of course, coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM. And then we are hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Okay, so there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the multiverse of ours, because that's just kind of the way that everything goes and everything happens, as you are fully aware. I would love to tell you that I'm able to keep up with everything that's going on in the news, but as it goes around, it's almost sometimes virtually impossible to do so. Just kind of the way that it goes. So let's talk real quick about what we do here. Our show consists of safety in the news, news and safety. That's just kind of what we talk about and do and go around the whole thing. Once that is done, and we're talking about that, we do bring in some professional broadcasters, so they could give you some information on what's going on inside of the world of the multiverse. That's just kind of how it goes. As we start going through the whole plethora of things, yes, the whole plethora of things, we'll go through the whole aspect, and then we say, hey, you want to interact? You can interact. Go to callinradio.com. Once you get there, video, audio, and text messaging are the opciones, and then we get everything moving and grooving. And that's it. That is the whole kit and caboodle. Seriously, the whole kit and caboodle. We'll get everything moving for you. So if you're good with that, I do have my friends from Feature Story News who are kind of waiting that would really love to talk to you about what the hell's going on inside of this thing that we call the multiverse. So if you're good with it, I'm good with it. So that's it. That is the concept of the show. We will give you the main story towards the middle, and then we get everything moving. So let's not waste a lot of your time, and let's get this moving right now.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in New Delhi, I'm Neha Punia. Iran is rejecting claims made by the US that it's holding talks with America, calling that fake news. This after US President Donald Trump claimed that talks with Iran have led to, quote, major points of agreement, but he claims that he's placing strict conditions on a possible deal. Ross Cullen is reporting from the city of Van near the Turkey-Iran border.
So far, they said there's no negotiations, and the United States is trying to do this simply because it's been spooked by the price of oil, spooked by the shock waves on the financial markets. Both sides will want to try to have an off-ramp, so a pathway out of this conflict that allows both of them to be able to claim that they won the war. Iran will want to secure its sovereignty. It will not want to have to capitulate. It will not want to have to renounce any of its missile program or potentially its use of civil nuclear energy.
Donald Trump told reporters in the US that he wants Tehran to end all uranium enrichment and for Iran to hand over all of its uranium to ensure it cannot build a nuclear weapon. Nick Harper is in Washington, D.C.
Donald Trump says his peace envoy Steve Witkoff and his son-in-law Jared Kushner are involved in the talks with the Iranians. He said talks took place on Sunday and will continue throughout the day today. He described the talks as very, very strong, saying they went perfectly. But he's outlined conditions by which he wants to make a deal, namely that Iran can never make a nuclear weapon and hand over its enriched uranium. His latest comments come after he postponed a 48-hour deadline in which he'd threatened to bomb Iran's energy infrastructure if it didn't reopen the Strait of Hormuz. That threat has now been postponed for 5 days.
Meanwhile, flights are resuming at New York City's LaGuardia Airport after an Air Canada jet struck a firetruck on the runway late Sunday night. The pilot and co-pilot died in the accident. During a press briefing, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said it's too early to know what caused the crash, but he reiterated that he's been asking Congress for more money for air traffic control. Mitch McCann has more.
Officials said they were restricted by the amount of information they could share at a Monday press conference as the investigation's in its early stage, but we did learn some new details. They described the pilots who died in the collision as two young men at the beginning of their careers. We also heard more information about the two people inside the fire engine when it crossed onto the runway and was struck by the jet. Officials say they were both taken to New York Presbyterian Hospital, and one was released on Monday and another is being kept for observation.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, looking in more detail today at a shocking anti-Semitic attack in London on ambulances operated by a Jewish charity. Hatzola provides emergency transport for anyone who needs it in North London, regardless of their faith. On Sunday night, 4 of the charity's ambulances were destroyed in an arson attack that has been claimed by an Iranian terror group. Police are now investigating that claim. Danny Cohen is a former senior executive at the BBC who writes on anti-Semitism in Britain.
There is a whiff of the 1930s, I think, to what many Jewish people feel they're experiencing at the moment. Violent intimidation, harassment, all of those things making Jewish people feel that this is a time they've not really experienced. I feel this too in my lifetime, the conditions that British Jews are finding themselves in right now. And it's leading British Jews to have conversations that they just wouldn't have imagined happening a few years ago. Should I take down identifying marks of my Judaism from my front door? Where would my children be safe going to school? Do we need an escape plan? If things get worse for Jews here, where would we go and what would we do? And it's really deeply concerning that is happening in our society.
Shocking as Sunday night's attack undoubtedly was, by the end of Monday, the charity operating the ambulances had received more than £1 million in donations from people all over the UK. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
The main news again. Iran is rejecting claims made by the US President Donald Trump of talks with America, calling that fake news. US President Donald Trump has said talks with Iran have led to, quote, major points of agreement, but he's placing strict conditions on a possible deal, he claims. Flights are slowly resuming at New York City's LaGuardia Airport after an Air Canada jet struck a fire truck on the runway late Sunday night. And that is the latest feature story news. Neha Punya reporting.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Hey, are you tired of hanging around and talking about safety in a boring kind of format? Well, I got something for you. If you haven't hung out with us yet at safetyfm.com, I'm going to encourage you to do so. Yeah, if you come out to Safety FM, you can come hang out with all kinds of safety professionals. Some are safety professionals, some are just people that are talking about safety. But we want to do it in a format that makes it fun and entertaining. If you're kind of trying to figure out what the FM portion is, well, we're a radio station and also a podcast network. You can come out, hang out, and listen to my show, The Jay Allen Show. You can listen to Todd Conklin with the pre-accident investigation, Blaine J. Hoffman with the Safety Pro, the Hop Nerd, Sam Goodman, just to name a few on what could be found on the station. Different things for different people, trying to bring safety in an entertaining form. SafetyFM.com. Go to the website, download the app, and carry it with you all day long. SafetyFM.com. We'll be waiting for you.
You got into the safety business because you wanted to protect people, but somewhere along the way, the job started controlling your time, your schedule, your priorities, even your income potential. What if the expertise you've built over the years in the field can give you something more? More freedom, more control, more ownership of your future. I'm Sheldon Primus, the author of 7 Steps to Starting a Profitable Safety Consulting Business and the host of the Safety Consultant Podcast, with more than 350 episodes helping safety professionals become consultants and grow their career. Consulting changed my life. In fact, I'm a full-time RVer, and 1 consulting contract paid for my home I live in today. Now, I help safety professionals build their own consulting practice through bi-weekly coaching calls, accountability, and personal guidance. But this program isn't for everyone. Start with the Consultant Readiness Audit at sheldon.coach.
It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know Our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks put a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
You've seen the loop. You've felt the shift. The script doesn't fit anymore, and neither do you. Safety transmission. The collapse of the construct is the third and final signal in the trilogy from J. Allen, Ph.D. And this time, it's not about waking up. It's about what you do once you're awake. The system didn't break. It just stopped pretending to hold you. And now it's blinking, rebranding presence, packaging resistance, and calling it progress. This book isn't a guide. It's a transmission. It doesn't teach the system how to evolve. It shows you how to stop performing for it. You'll see what happens when awareness becomes responsibility, when audits don't listen, and when leadership becomes a loop. But if you've made it this far, you're not here to be managed. You're here to carry signal. Safety transmission. The collapse of the construct. Now available in print, Kindle, and audiobook. Narrated by J. Allen, Ph.D. Because if it couldn't hold your signal, it was never real to begin with.
Another pitfall of our society. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, there you go. 14 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out, doing all the fun stuff that we get to do. No doubt about that, as we are talking and doing everything else inside of the world. So let's get into some things right away, because I think that this is going to be one of those days that we need to talk about everything. And we're going to have to start off with some stuff that we probably don't want to start off with, but hey, that's just kind of the way that it goes sometimes. An Air Canada flight from Montreal slammed into a fire truck on a runway at LaGuardia Airport late Sunday night, and it was chaos on impact. A flight attendant was literally thrown out of the aircraft during the crash, still strapped into her jump seat. Somewhere or somehow she survived. No word yet on how badly she's hurt, but that's the kind of story that you don't usually walk away from. The collision happened around 11:40 p.m. on runway 4. The plane plowed into a middle of the fire truck, sending the officers inside flying. Tragically, both pilots on the plane were killed. In total, 41 passengers and the crew were taken to the hospital, some with serious injuries. And here's where it gets really troubling. Early reports say both the plane and the fire truck had clearance to be on the runway. The National Transportation Safety Board is now digging out to figure out exactly what the air traffic control miscommunication played a role. Here's the audio from the air traffic control and someone in the fire truck. Take a listen.
Frontier 4195, just stop there, please. Stop, truck one, stop. Stop, truck one, stop. Stop, truck one, stop. 646, I see you collide with vehicle here, just hold position. I know you can't move. The vehicles are responding to you now.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So, number one, this is the first accident that's happened in LaGuardia. I think they said 30 years is one of the news stories that I was hearing yesterday. But prior to that, the truck had received clearance from the air traffic controller. And then shortly thereafter, there was this communication of stop. It does not seem like the fire truck was able to hear it because there was another issue occurring further down. So that was one thing. And then number two, there is a recording of the air traffic controller talking to someone else later on, where he is saying that he messed up in regards to what was going on. So The problem is that a lot of this stuff, that these recordings get released. So at one point you have to look around and go, okay, what exactly is going on? What happened? Where was the miscommunication? All that kind of fun stuff. And I guess we will hear about this more and more as the investigations continue about what exactly happened. Of course, the passing away of 2 pilots. 41 out of 72 people, from what I remember correctly, were injured, and of course the person that was the flight attendant that still was inside of the seat at the time. So with that being said, Jack Cabot was one of the passengers on Air Canada of the crash plane into the fire truck in LaGuardia. Jack appeared on CNN last night. Here's what he had to say.
As we came in, they said, prepare for landing, and there was some talk about turbulence, but there was no announcement when we were about to hit the.
There was no
truck.
brace for impact, anything like that.
Nothing like that.
When did you realize? I mean, did you feel the impact? Did you hear it?
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody got completely jolted. I mean, we all. Everybody just banged something. I mean, nobody's really expecting to hit a truck in that moment. They're always just kind of sitting a little bit more relaxed back in their seat, and so come the moment of impact, a lot of people will hit their head. There was blood, there was screaming. It was a really harrowing moment.
Did the plane, and if any of this you don't want to talk about, this, completely fine, but did the plane continue? I mean, was it a sudden halt, or did it go?
No, it actually continued to slide for a bit longer. It was the original bang and complete panic for everybody, but then it was also this moment when you realized the plane had lost control of where it was going, and then the only question was will I live? Will I see my loved ones again?
You had that thought?
Yeah.
Did you hit the seat or anything in front of you?
Yeah. I have a little.
Is that the little?
Yeah, up here,
bruise up there.
Yeah.
What happened then? I'd heard other people say there wasn't an announcement, so passengers took it upon themselves to.
Yeah, I don't think there was really a chain of command. I mean, the pilots didn't make it, and so one of the passengers, I think her name was Rebecca. She was right by the passenger aisle, and she kind of took a little initiative, and she helped get the door open, and we all kind of jumped right on out. There was a few tarmac people already out there, and we jumped on the wing and jumped down, and everyone was kind of helping each other. There was people helping with holding people's hands, there's people helping with people's luggage, and there was this kind of really strong sense of we're a community and we're going to get through this one together.
Okay, so that's exactly what he had to say from what had happened on the plane. Of course, I didn't want to interrupt that. I know that I normally tend to interrupt a lot of the stuff that we do, but man, what a crazy times when you start thinking about the whole thing. I mean, think about it for a moment. Just in so many changes that occurred, boom, 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 that quick. It's just mind-boggling when you start thinking about it. Let's continue talking about some other things that are going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that's kind of what we do. Folks all around Houston area started hearing a massive boom Saturday afternoon. The rumble shook homes across multiple towns. People from Katy all the way to Cyprus to way beyond were asking the same thing. What was that? Turns out that it wasn't thunder. It was a meteor. NASA confirmed that the bright fireball tore through the sky, traveling around 35,000 miles per hour. It first showed up about 49 miles above the area, then broke apart in midair. The breakup created a shock wave, the boom that everyone heard, and it even showed in the weather radar. Now, here's where it gets wild. In Spring, Texas, yes, that's a town in Texas, just in case, a woman says that part of the meteor didn't just burn up. It went straight through her roof. Her grandson spotted the hole in the ceiling, and inside, the rock immediately went through and looked like a meteorite. At first, the officials wondered if it fell off of a plane, but once all of the boom reports came in, it was pretty clear that this thing came from space. Take a listen to this.
Sherry, you say your son found this rock.
Yes, he did. My grandson found it on the floor. We heard a big boom, and when I was in my bedroom, and I didn't know what it was. So I said, it's coming out my daughter's room. So I told my grandson to go see what it was. He come back and said, you have a hole in the ceiling. And I'm like, what? And so I come over here, and the first thing I was mad. I'm like, what didn't come through the ceiling? But then when I saw the hole, then I saw the piece on the hole in the floor, and then I saw the rock. And I'm like, oh no. I said, that looks like a meteor piece.
I mean, think about how crazy that is. All of a sudden you're told, hey, there's a hole in your ceiling and it could be a meteor. I don't think you're going to buy that right off the bat. What do you think as you are hearing this? I mean, I know I used to make up some stories when I was much younger in regards to some of the stuff that I would do, but man, that just takes a different turn here. Okay, so let's talk about this real quick. President Trump says the U.S. is hitting a pause on strikes against Iran's energy infrastructure after what is called a very good and productive talks aimed at ending the conflict. He even ordered the Pentagon to hold off for 5 days, basically, let's see where it goes move to calm things down and steady the markets. Problem is, Iran flat out says, what talks? An Iranian official claims that these have been zero contact, direct or indirect, and says that Trump backed off because Iran threatened to target power stations across the region. And then it gets even spicier. An Iranian general is now teasing a new secret weapon that could shut down enemy operations. Meanwhile, oil prices are swinging wildly. Brent crude jumped from $90 to over $100 a barrel before settling down, and now the Dow Jones Industrial Average bounced around hard before opening up. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on right there. What do you think about it? Do you think it's
made up?
Or do you think that it's true that there is some level of talks, but, nobody wants to be like, hey, I can't admit it. It's just one of those weird things as we start talking. I'm sure we'll come to find out relatively quick on what's exactly going on soon. Take a listen to this. A Texas businessman and a cheerleading pioneer, Jeff Webb, has died at the age of 76 after a freak pickleball accident that left him in severe head injury and 2 weeks of life support. Webb, known for the father of modern cheerleading and founder of the varsity spirit, was also an early mentor to Charlie Kirk, helping shape his rise and leadership style. Turning Point called Webb a visionary and a close friend, honoring his impact on young conservative leadership. Beyond politics, Webb revolutionized cheerleading, bringing athleticism, competition, and national attention to the sport. So what do you think? So let me ask you that. Do you consider cheerleading a sport? I'm just asking. I am just asking. And bear with me as I ask this question. Is it a sport because it's something that's normally done when another sport is going on? This is why I'm asking that question. So what do you think? I don't know. So there you go. So take a listen to this one because this got interesting. Travis Kelce just locked in a new deal with the Kansas City Chiefs. Kelce signed a 3-year extension yesterday worth up to $57.7 million. If he hits every dollar, that's about $19.25 million a year, technically making him the highest paid tight end in the league, edging out someone other player, of course. Here's the catch, though. Only $12 million is guaranteed, and the deal is heavily backloaded. These things could function more like a 1-year agreement if the Chiefs decide to pivot after 2026. He can also earn another $3 million incentives that season. So while it sounds like a long-term commitment, it's really, we'll see how it goes arrangement dressed up with the big numbers. So there you go. I'm just saying. I don't make these things up. Just telling you about contracts now.
Contracts.
Okay. Let's see. Mark Wayne Mullen just was just sent from the senator floor to one of the hottest seats in Washington, confirmed as the Secretary of Homeland Security. It was tight, though, 54-45 vote. He replaces Kristi Noem and walks straight into a mess. A partial shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security and a political firestorm over immigration. Mullen, a former MMA fighter turned plumbing business millionaire turned politician, promised to dial things back a notch, saying that ICE raids would be limited to cases with judicial warrants. That's being seen as a possible off-ramp to end the shutdown, or at least cool things down a little bit. The vote, pretty much party lines, with two twists. Most Republicans backed him except Ron Paul, who shots at Mullen's temperament, even bringing up past comments about political violence. Now not exactly glowing endorsement. On the flip side, too, Democrats crossed the aisle, including John Fetterman and Martin Hendricks. Hendricks even called Mullen a friend Washington version of "we don't agree, but I still will take your call." So there you go. What do you think? I mean, it always becomes interesting as we start going through the whole thing of everything that's happening because, man, what a weird time it is when it comes to politics that we can only do things within party lines. What do you think about the whole thing? Do you think that that's the only way votes should occur? Some people really do. I don't know. I always look at it and go, I think you should go with whatever you think is the way that works best for you. So there you go. Okay, so let's talk real quick about some things that are going on. It's so freaking hot outside. My shadow asked for shade. The sun woke up today and chose violence. And I walked outside immediately and understood beef jerky. So I don't know. It's one of those weird things that when you start taking a look about when the temperatures start heating up, how things start getting weird right away. So here you go. So here you go. Just some things to think about. So that is for sure. I don't even know why we're taking a look at some of this stuff. Because here's the thing. When you start looking around and start going, okay, what are the weather conditions or how things are going on? I don't even know what to do anymore because it is so freaking hot. It is the economy's kind of all over the place. And then we're kind of looking at it and going, well, this is life. This is what's going on. So take a listen to this because, you know, things just can't get any stranger. If your hot chocolate needs a security detail, think if this is your drink. A Benjamin Steakhouse in New York City, they're serving $1,000 cocoa cocktail called the Versailles Velour. This thing's basically dessert, booze, and a trust fund in a glass. It's loaded with high-end ingredients like Hennessy Richard and Grand Marnier Quintessy, which alone costs hundreds per ounce, plus chocolate liqueur, Bailey's Espresso, and more. Then they top it with whipped cream, 24-karat gold leaves, and a piece of $100 designer chocolate, because apparently regular hot cocoa wasn't intimidating enough. The wild part, it started as a guy trying to impress his wife, and he basically told the bartender, go all out, and the bartender heard, let's build a Rolls Royce of hot chocolate. So there you go. So what do you think here? I mean, it's kind of a weird one when you start thinking about it. I don't think it gets any stranger. That's for sure. So take a listen to this one real quick. Police in Missouri are investigating after 5 Barbie dolls sold at a discount store were found to have fentanyl hidden inside their packaging. The situation unfolded at Cargo Largo, a retailer that deals in returns in salvage goods. Store security flagged suspicious powder, called police, and investigators quickly tracked down the 5 compromised dolls on the same day. Now, the big question is how this even happened. Somewhere along the supply chain, those toys got tampered with and nobody knows where yet. The store says that it's cooperating fully and police are still digging into where the dolls came from and how the fentanyl ended up inside something meant for kids. That's an interesting one. Barbie's dream house comes with a DEA investigation. Even Ken's like, I'm not qualified for this storyline. And Barbie went from Malibu to evidence locker real quick. And this is not an accessory pack. It's a felony bundle. So there you go. Take a listen to this one real quick. Across the country, viral videos are exploring breakfast bandits. People walking into hotels, loading up on plates and bouncing like they got a room upstairs when they absolutely do not. In places like Hampton Inn, Holiday Inn Express, and the Residence Inn, the buffet is set up as easy to blend in, no host, no check, and just waffles, eggs, and opportunity. Experts say that they're in a tough spot. They could crack down harder, but then run the risk of turning breakfast into airport security. Nobody wants to show their ID for coffee. But here's the problem. When freeloaders keep sneaking in, hits the actual paying guests, costs go up and quality goes down. And suddenly your free breakfast is one sad bagel and a suspicious looking egg. These people didn't book a room, they booked a plate. So what do you think here? No, seriously, I mean, it just becomes one of those weird things. I remember working at an organization long time ago where they would drop people off at hotels from airports and so on. That was many moons ago. And I remember getting a phone call from a hotel that one of the independent contractors that was working there was actually freeloading off of their breakfast. And they were like, tell this dude not to show up and stop stealing our shit. So there you go. It's serious business over there when it's all said and done. And I get it. I mean, food is food. And somebody still has to pay for it some way, shape, or form. So keep that in mind. Anyways, 32 minutes past the top of the hour. And it's almost time for us to take our, should it be almost time for us to do that thing that we call our main story? Or should I call it our main twist? Because, man, it's going to get a twisty-isty today in regards of going through the stuff. So let's get into it. I think we're going to get into it. Man, between this mouse that's not wanting to work for this morning, maybe it's a charging issue, and this board that sometimes wants to play sound and sometimes it doesn't, not sure.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's start talking right away about some things that are going on, and I want you to think about that exact moment that your alarm goes off tomorrow morning. And it's about 4:30. I'm only saying that because that's normally kind of what time I'm up. It's 4:30. It's pitch black outside, and you swing your legs over the edge of the bed, put your feet on the cold floor, and that's the exact same sequence that you have executed thousands of times. You drive the exact same routes, you swipe your ID badge at the exact same turnstile, and you walk out into the floor, and the fluorescent lights hum. They're identical. Sickening frequency, and the cold, heavy realization drops into your gut. You have lived this day before, and it's just that fleeting feeling of deja vu. It is terrifying structural feature of your early reality, and you are trapped in a loop. Yeah, to understand what actually is happening, your sanity as we kind of go through this, and you start breaking their backs into the floor. You go out there and you start breaking your back. We talk about a visionary science fiction writer named Philip K. Dick for a moment. In 1974, PKD had a massive reality-shattering psychological event. He claimed that he temporarily saw the illusion of the world. And what he saw was horrifying. He realized that the oppressive sociopathic Roman Empire didn't fall in 2,000 years ago. It just became invisible. It built a better cage, and he called it the Black Iron Prison.
Black Iron Prison.
Black Iron Prison. The Black Iron Prison is sprawling, static, invisible, period. I mean, it's just what it is. It is psychologically a systemic cage that we are all born into. The wardens of the prison don't wear armor anymore. They wear tailored suits. They sit in execution boardrooms, and they don't use iron bars to keep you trapped. They use a 12-hour shift, crushing production quotas, mortgages, and the constant vibration of fears of termination. We are all inmates. And the absolute darkest part of the Black Iron Prison is how it manipulates the illusion of time. The architects of the system will look you dead in your eyes and tell you that time is a straight arrow moving forward. They'll tell you that every new physical year is progress, and they'll roll out a new software, hang up a new zero harm banners, and they'll hand you a new 50-page safety manual, and they dress the prison up with fresh paint and tell you that you're walking into the future. But if you actually look at the floor, if you look at the raw reality of the hazards, you realize that the time in the Black Iron Prison isn't moving forward at all. It is closed, decaying loop. Think about investigations you do. You sit in a room in 2026 analyzing how workers got pulled into an unguided conveyor belt. And as you read the root cause, you realize that it's the exact same mechanical failure driven by the exact same production pressure that mangled a guy's arm in 2016 and in 2006. Did time actually move forward? Or are we just playing broken, blood-soaked tape backwards and forward, resetting the simulation every new quarter starts? You can't even tell if society is progressing or moving in reverse because the trauma is completely static. The machine just keeps chewing people up in the exact same way. The truly grasp of the mechanics of the nightmare is here. We have pulled a thread from the physicist Thomas Campbell in his book, My Big Toe, The Theory of Everything. Campbell theorizes that our entire physical universe is a virtual reality, a massive simulation generated by a larger conscious system, and is healthy simulation the goal of every individual piece of consciousness, which is you and me. It is to lower entropy. We are supposed to reduce chaos, evolve, learn, and create order. But the Black Iron Prison is a corrupt subset of the simulation. It is localized entropy trap. The corporate machine doesn't want you to evolve. It wants you to farm your energy. Yes, farm your energy. It sustains itself by keeping the environment in a state of high chaos, high stress, and low awareness. The executives mandate impossible quotas. They slash the maintenance budgets. They force workers to operate broken equipment, driven by entropy on the floor through the roof. And when the chaos finally boils over and workers get killed, the system doesn't lower the entropy by fixing the physical machine. It just generates more bureaucratic chaos. It forces you to fill out more paperwork, run more audits, and feed more data to the simulation. The prison feeds on the friction. It feeds on your burnout. So, how the hell do you survive? How do you protect the people working next to you when you are locked inside a timeless high entropy simulation run by wardens who see you as a disposable code? This is where you have to hold on to the signal that you have. And let me explain this real quick. If you understand signal trilogy, you know that the system is perfectly designed to absorb your resistance. If you stand in a boardroom and scream that the culture is toxic, the Black Iron Prison just doesn't shut you down. It mutates. It rebrands your rebellion. The executives smile, turn your outrage into a new safety initiative, and give a new title and put you right back into the hamster wheel. You cannot fix the Black Iron Prison by playing by their rules. You cannot audit your way out of a simulation. The only way to survive and stop performing for the wardens, you have to wake up. Look at the cold, hard bars of the construct and realize that the only thing that actually matters is consciousness of the human being standing next to you. You have to be localized and normality to some extent that lowers entropy. When you walk into your floor tomorrow, onto the floor tomorrow, better saying, you stop looking at the metrics, the spreadsheets, and the corporate timeline. You operate entirely on internal presence. When you see a worker about to get crushed by the pressure of the simulation, you don't write a memo to the wardens. You step in. You hit the E-stop. You pull the person out of the meat grinder. You disrupt the loop. You inject the signal directly into the chaos. They will try to rebrand you. They will try to tell you that you aren't a team player. They will try to convince you that time is moving forward and that the new safety program is going to fix everything. Do not believe the lie. Do not believe the liar. The empire never ended. The prison is still there. So, as we are wrapping up the main story, and I want you to take a deeply uncomfortable look at your own daily routine. Are you actually lowering chaos of the people who you are supposed to protect? Or are you helping the wardens in the run the simulation smoothly? Are you breaking the loop, or are you just painting the bars of the Black Iron Prison in a different color? You cannot escape the construct until you admit that you are inside of it. Wake up, stop accepting the illusion, stop performing for the system that feeds on your exhaustion. Find the signal, hold the line for eternal presence, and start tearing the matrix apart. One locked out machine at a time, if necessary. Think about that for a moment.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You're listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
This isn't a safety manual. It's a transmission. Jay Allen, PhD, host of the Rated R Safety Show and founder of Safety FM, has spent years pulling back the curtain on the systems we work in and the ones we don't talk about. What started as a fatal crash on the 405 became a search for truth. Through behavior-based safety, human and organizational performance, simulation theory, and everything in between. Safety, in my opinion, is raw, reflective, and real. From burnout to breakthroughs, from the matrix to the moment someone says, "This doesn't feel right." This book doesn't give you answers. It hands you the signal. Safety, in my opinion. Available now, wherever books and audiobooks are found.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
Feel it in your hands. You already know, don't say it out loud, just let it go. When I pull you close, when I take control, you already know. Follow it down, don't look around, nothing else matters when I make that sound. You don't ask why, you don't resist, it just moves like this, like this.
Okay, here we are, 46 minutes past the top of the hour. So this one right here, this one's called Velvet in Your Veins. Song is readily available nowhere because I just made it. So there you go. We should release it at some point, I know. So there you go. Yeah, there you go. Let's continue talking about some other things that are going on inside of the multiverse of ours, because that's kind of what we do. And let me, if anything, this will probably be the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. And we want you to know that people have been where you are now and that healing is possible. Things can get better. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, all kinds of information related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorder, self-injury, suicide, trauma, grief support, just to name a few. That's TWLOHA.com, To Write Love on Her Arms. Once you get there, I'm going to tell you that website can change everything for you if you allow it to do so. So there you go, TWLOHA.com, To Write Love on Her Arms. So there you go. What else do we got for you? Let's take a look around and let's start talking about some other things. 1 week from today, let me tell you about this one. Happening in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Yes, Santa Fe, New Mexico. The Conklin Workshop. Not to be confused with the Conklin Conference. The Conklin Workshop taking place in Santa Fe, New Mexico, March 31st through April the 1st. We would love to see you there. Todd Conklin will be there talking about the world of human and organizational performance as we're doing an investigation to an event that occurred. You will actually have the likes of Brett Sutton, Redonda Voigt, and Ann Liren talking about everything that's going on inside of how you would take a look at this case. Would love to see you there. You can find out more information by scanning the QR code that's on the screen or going to safetyfm.com and clicking on the section that says live events. So there you go. That's happening next week, a week from today. Santa Fe, New Mexico. Would love to see you there. Also, if you can't make it to that one, we have one going on July the 13th, which is a Monday in Orlando. We'll be talking about reality shifts. It is a observational symposium. We're doing this one at a movie theater. We'll have Nick Weatherly there talking about behavior-based safety, Todd Conklin talking about human and organizational performance, and yours truly there talking about Signal Trilogy. We'll also watch a movie while we're there, hanging out the day. Some people have been asking, why are we doing this on a Monday? Well, we're doing it on a Monday. That way you can hang out in Orlando if you want to do that, if you're flying into the area or kind of visiting the area. And we'll get you all set up on that Monday doing all the fun stuff. So there you go. To find out more information, safetyfm.com, click on the section that says live events. Live events. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of our multiverse is definitely what it sounds like. But let's do this for right now. I have John Small waiting in the wing, and he's wanting to talk about the world of motivation. So let's do that right now. Here's John Small with the Motivation Minute.
Courtesy of JaceCaseMedical.com. Today's quote was submitted by Martha. Mahatma Gandhi said, "The future depends on what we do in the present." What a great quote. I was talking about this very concept with my wife. We had done an amazing job working on a better lifestyle for the better part of the second half of last year. We were doing different versions of fasting. Then, right around Thanksgiving time, we switched from fasting to feasting. I did pretty good 4 days a week, but then the other 3 days, we both kind of went a little overboard. Instead of keeping up with losing weight, we both gained a little bit back. Not everything that we lost, but enough. My wife said, "I wish we could go back and do that differently." I said, "We can. It starts today. We need to just keep on the right side of things this time. Because in 6 months, we're going to look back at today just like we look back at 6 months ago right now. So for all of us, today is the day to start."
The Motivation Minute.
This has been the Motivation Minute. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
A devastating drone strike hit a key hospital in Sudan's El Dain during Eid celebrations, claiming 64 lives, including children and medical staff.
The World Health Organization reports the attack killed 13 children, 2 nurses, and a doctor at the facility. Sudan's army denies responsibility, rejecting claims by the Rapid Support Forces. Humanitarian groups warn of worsening crisis in Darfur amid ongoing clashes. Benjamin Wright reporting.
An Iranian missile struck near Israel's Dimona nuclear site after Tehran claimed one of its facilities was targeted first.
The International Atomic Energy Agency chief urged maximum military restraint to avoid escalation. BBC reporters visited the hit town, describing a direct impact with no immediate radiation risks reported. Tensions rise as both sides exchange fire in the region. Gary Beck reporting.
Russia launched a drone attack on Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia city, killing 2 residents ahead of U.S. talks.
Officials say 2 children aged 11 and 15 suffered injuries in the strike. The assault occurred just before planned negotiations in America. Ukraine vows to continue defending against such aerial barrages. Liam White reporting.
President Trump threatens to deploy ICE agents to U.S. airports amid a funding row causing TSA delays.
Airport security staff face weeks without pay due to partial government shutdown. Trump says ICE will handle security if needed during peak travel. Travelers report long lines as wait times worsen nationwide. Lawrence Keller reporting.
A new CBS News poll reveals economic worries from the Iranian war and spiking gas prices grip most Americans.
The survey highlights concerns over conflict escalation and energy costs. UN Ambassador Mike Waltz and NATO's Mark Rutte discussed impacts on Face the Nation. Households brace for higher bills amid global tensions. Jessica Oakley reporting.
Democrats reject a GOP counterproposal on ICE changes as shutdown deadline looms closer.
GOP offer details remain private amid stalled talks. House Democrats expand targets for upcoming seats in states like Minnesota and Colorado. Political gridlock fuels fears of prolonged federal disruptions. Kyle Norris reporting.
Trump touts strong economy but skips apology for a racist video involving the Obamas circulating online.
The clip sparked backlash amid heated rhetoric. President meets Netanyahu soon to push Iran peace talks. Focus stays on growth, despite domestic divides. Kevin Sanders reporting.
Senate holds rare weekend session over DHS funding and the Save America Act amid shutdown pressures.
Lawmakers scramble to avert crisis before deadlines hit. Debates center on security and border measures. Bipartisan efforts seek quick resolution for essential services. Sharon Kendra reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
Here is another bit for our competitors to copy. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's start talking right away about some of the things that are going on. So let's talk about today in history, if you don't mind doing it that way. Back in 89, Exxon Valdez oil spill in Prince William Sounds in Alaska. The Exxon Valdez spill, 240,000 barrels of petroleum after running aground. So there you go. Also in 1994, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. divorces Emily Black. Also in 2019, the New England Patriots tight end Rob Gronkowski announces retirement as the 3-time Super Bowl winner tight end postseason record. Most receptions, 81, receiving yards, 1,163, and receiving, TDs 12. So there you go. That all happened back on these dates. If we're talking about some celebrity birthdays for today, let's do that. Kelly LeBrock turns 66. Laura Flynn Boyle turns 56. Jim Parsons turns 53. Peyton Manning turns 50, and Jessica Chastain turns 49 today. So there you go. Let's talk about some things that you ought to know. The man behind OnlyFans has died at the age of 43 after the company says was a long private battle with cancer. Leonard Ravansky bought the platform parent company in 2018 and turned it into a money printing machine, pulling in massive profits and reportedly collecting around $1.3 billion in dividends over the years. At the time of his death, his net worth was about $4.7 billion. Despite running one of the most talked about platforms on the internet, he stayed almost invisible publicly. Behind the scenes, tough is what he was considered, and he and his wife were pouring serious money into cancer research, including a major $23 million grant program. He was born in Ukraine, raised near Chicago, studied economics in Northwestern, and built his fortune in tech before taking over OnlyFans and reshaping the industry. So there you go. Let's talk real quick about tonight's Mega Million jackpot. It is full of $60 million, if you're ready to take a look at that. And here's last night's winning Powerball numbers, and the jackpot was $133 million. That was 12, 18, 47, 56, 63. Powerball was the number one. Also, Pakistan is joining the growing list of countries acting as go-betweens for the United States and Iran. 4 sources told NBC News that with those sources saying that in-person meetings could be held in the coming days, and either Islamabad or Pakistan, the Pakistan capital, Islamabad, or the Pakistan capital. So there you go. Some stuff to think about. Anyways, that's going to end our time together. At the top of the hour, I will be going over to radiobig.fm if you want to come and hang out with me as I talk about the world of music and entertainment. If you want to go over there, that's radiobig.fm. If not, that's perfectly fine. You can stay here with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he talks about the world of safety consulting. So there you go. You got some options for you if you want to go either way. If I can leave you with some words of wisdom today a reader, tomorrow a leader. Think that, keep in mind about that. And then here you go. Some advice for today. Add fennel to your diet and curb your appetite. Not fentanyl, fennel. Just in case. So there you go. That's going to sum it up. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thank you for being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener, because without you, it makes no sense to do what we do around here. That is for sure. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.
You got into the safety business because you wanted to protect people, but somewhere along the way, the job started controlling your time, your schedule, your priorities, even your income potential. What if the expertise you've built over the years in the field can give you something more? More freedom, more control, more ownership of your future. I'm Sheldon Primus, the author of 7 Steps to Starting a Profitable Safety Consulting Business and the host of the Safety Consultant Podcast, with more than 350 episodes helping safety professionals become consultants and grow their career. Consulting changed my life. In fact, I'm a full-time RVer, and one consulting contract paid for my home I live in today. Now, I help safety professionals build their own consulting practice through bi-weekly coaching calls, accountability, and personal guidance. But this program isn't for everyone. Start with the Consultant Readiness Audit at sheldon.coach.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete Signal Transmission Trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all 3 books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.